Hey, what's happening, everybody? Jason right here. Today, we are going to talk about ActiveCampaign. Specifically, we're going to talk about re-engagement sequences and how to build a new nasty 3-tier one that I've come up with. Hope you enjoy it. If you guys have never been here before, please subscribe to the channel. Intentionally Inspirational is our name, and marketing, automation, and funnels are our game. I didn't plan that; just came out that way. All right, let's go ahead and dive into ActiveCampaign so I can show you what I'm talking about here. All righty. All right, let's get this stuff positioned right. Get my picture out of the way. So I've worked in a couple hundred accounts at this point. And I was just thinking recently that I'd never really seen a client with a re-engagement campaign. Some of them know what they are, but I've never really seen one in someone's account. Never seen somebody use one. So I'm going to show you with ActiveCampaign how to set up a 3-tiered engagement system to help you get more people re-engaged with your list, with your brand, and get more out of your email. Okay. So ActiveCampaign has this big library of, we'll call them pre-cooked automations. There's a couple hundred in here at this point, which is great. Gives you a starting point, gives you a foundation, and this just grows and grows and grows. So very cool. I need to go through here and see what else they've added, but we're going to keep this very simple today, yet very impactful. So we're going to start with these engagement tagging automations, right? They're just tagging automations. There's no email sent, there's no texts, but they keep up to date with what people are doing or not doing, okay? So you're going to go ahead and go to part 1, engagement tagging. You're going to add this. And I've already got this set up in my account. I'm just going to start over and show you exactly how to do it and how you can implement this today. Okay, so I start off with ActiveCampaign's pre-cooked automation here, but I don't like it the way they set it up from the way it is defaulted, okay? I think that this was built probably by a programmer, but not a marketer, right? And I'll show you why. So it comes with these notes in here. If you want them, you can keep them. I delete them out. Just don't need them. Don't want to see those notes. This is completely just personal preference here. So let me get these deleted really quickly. And I'll show you where my issues are with the current setup. Okay. If you're not an ActiveCampaign user, to be honest with you, I don't know if other email marketing platforms have similar options or not. All right, so the way this works, there's 2 parts of this automation, and we're just going to focus on this for now. Okay, so we're not going to worry about a start trigger. I'm going to leave it just how it is. And basically, there's different things that can show people being engaged. One of them, the very simplest way, is opening an email. Okay, so the way this is set up, if somebody takes an action, so they open an email, they pop in here. They're labeled as engaged. They get this recent activity tag. If there's a disengaged or an inactive tag, those get removed as well. So taking action keeps people in good standing, okay? My problem with the way this comes from ActiveCampaign starts right here. 7 days. 7 days is the first waiting spot, and they're saying recent activity's got to be 7 days or less. Most people don't even email their list once a week consistently, so I feel like that's just a little early. You can tweak this wait time however you want. All right, I'm going to kick it out to 2 months. Okay, it's completely personal preference, but it plays into what comes next. Simple enough so far, right? Okay, let that save. Maybe. Okay, there we go. All right, next wait period is 21 days. You know, why is it 21 days? Probably because 7 plus 21 is 28. I don't know. Again, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So what I'm looking at now is how much time needs to go by with somebody doing nothing on my list before I call them disengaged. Is 28 days enough? I don't think so. Okay, you can do what you want. I'm going to also make this 2 months. In my mind, there's a lot of people that I follow. I may not catch up with their emails every week or every month, but at least every couple of months. That's kind of my logic here, right? So if somebody hasn't done anything in 4 months, I'm going to call them disengaged. Okay, so that's fine. Beyond this, there's another wait period with the worst case scenario being inactive. I'm going to change this also to 2 months. So basically I'm saying if you haven't opened anything in 6 months, not only are you disengaged, you're inactive. Okay. You're pretty cold. You and the brand may not know each other anymore, and that's fine. Okay. And again, feel free to adjust these wait sequences as you see fit. I personally hate the way they come from ActiveCampaign because I don't think they make sense. All right. I'm going to take this a step further, and I'm going to go ahead and add another tier, make this another 2 months, and you'll see why in a little bit here. Okay. I'm going to create another tag, and I'm going to call it, you can call it what you want to. I'm going to call it checked out. Like in my mind, what's worse than being completely inactive is just completely checked out, right? Almost to the point where there's no hope in bringing you back. Okay. Call it checked out. We'll save that, and then we'll follow the suit above, and we'll remove the last tag. So in this case, we will remove the inactive tag. Okay, so we'll remove a tag, drop it in. Actually, you know what? I don't even think I want, I think I'll leave that inactive. I think I'll actually leave that, okay? So what we're gonna end up doing is now we need to create part 2 of engagement tagging to make this thing happen, okay? So basically, once people get in here, they're always gonna be between part 1 and part 2, and they'll be in here forever. They're tagging automations that keep a pulse on what people are based on their activity, okay? Disengaged is no activity in 4 months, inactive is no activity for 6 months, then in this example, checked out is no activity for 8 months, okay? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and add that second part to this. So here's the first one we just messed with, and we're gonna create another automation. And this one's pretty much ready to go with one tweak, okay? So this automation setup wizard, this format's kind of new. You definitely want to hit get started. And it's going to ask you if your web page domain. So in my case, it's intentionallyinspirational.com. We'll leave it asterisk because it tells us that any page on the website will indicate engagement. That's what we want. Okay. And it'll ask me a couple more steps. It tells you what the answer is here. So it's pretty easy to set up. I apologize for the delay. You've seen it earlier in the video as well, but screen share and recording sometimes really slow things down. Not sure why. ActiveCampaign seems to be moving a little bit slower for me right now, but should work out just fine. All right, so it's going to say which automation we want to exit. And if you read, it'll tell you which automation. So part 1, engagement tagging. And I'm going to have 2 of them in here because I have a real one and I have a one that I'm messing with now. So I guess it really doesn't matter for the purpose of this video. It'll give you the idea. And then step 3 is going to ask me to select the same automation for something else. So like I said earlier, never seen a client actually have one of these set up properly and actually use it. But what a lot of people do is they'll have a couple automations in their account, and contacts will come in for a lead magnet or something like that. And then, less than half of the people that I meet with very successful businesses, by the way, won't have any kind of a content strategy where they're emailing the list regularly with like manual broadcast emails. And then people just kind of build lists that they don't ever really engage, and the contacts kind of sit there forever. So people like to say, oh, my list is 2,000 or 5,000 or 100,000. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if they're not engaged, right? I've seen some huge lists that literally had no value. All right, so these are the different triggers that start this. One other one I'll add is subscribes to a list, and any list is fine, okay? We just want people to get in this once, and then they volley forever between part 1 and part 2, okay? And again, there's these notes you can remove. So you can see the triggers: reads an email, clicks a link, visits a page. This is actually redundant because if they open an email, that's going to happen before this anyway. So you've got these 5 or 4 different triggers, and they basically pop in the beginning of part 1. If they're in there, let's say they're disengaged and they read an email, then it it exits them out of part 1. Okay, it enters them back in the front of part 1, and then it ends. So it just moves them from where they are in part 1 back to the beginning. That's all it does. All right, you would set it active as well, which I won't do. And basically you'll have part 1 and part 2 engagement set up, and you've positioned yourself to build a 3-tier re-engagement sequence. Okay, you've got 1 and 2, they're inactive, but they're ready to turn active. Okay, and then if I go in and look at some of my emails, re-engagement, what you're going to do is you're going to essentially trigger these emails by the tag. Okay, so as we looked, the disengage tag fired after 4 months of nothing happening. Okay, so you're going to trigger this automation to start when that tag is added, and then basically you're sending out emails, and I've got predictive sending and all kinds of stuff going. You're going to send out emails. I have email, a 2-day wait, another email, a 2-day wait, and a third email, and then I wait for a week and I pass them through. Now, if they open an email on here and hit a goal, so they open the first one, it kills this automation and it's refreshed them and made them active again based on those first 2 automations that we built. So the idea in a re-engagement sequence is just to get them to open an email, just to get them to refresh their status from disengaged or inactive or checked out back to active and recent contact activity. So that's kind of how that works. The next level, so that's the first tier of re-engagement, and those headlines are a little playful, trying to get people to open it and some things like that. The next level that's applied by the inactive tag, so this is 6 months with no contact. This starts getting a little bit more bold, because at this point it's like, what do you really have to lose, right? So this is also triggered by a tag, and these are going to be set to run multiple times, because somebody could come into one and reply at the first email, then the next time, which could be 6 or 8 or 9 months later, they might go through another email, so they're not going to really remember. So you can do it that way. This one is email 1, 1-day wait, email 2, 2-day wait, email 3, 2-day wait. So it's a little bit more aggressive, and I'll show you some of these subject lines. Really low percentages, right? I want you back. Am I still welcome in your inbox? Should I unsubscribe you? Is this goodbye? So you have some different things, and they're low, right? They're low recoveries, but they are recoveries. So you're retaining contacts as kind of a last ditch effort, right? It's not real hard. It's not real hard to set up. And I actually have it where if they run through this, if they haven't done anything in 6 months, they've run through these 4 emails and 3 other re-engagement emails, I actually unsubscribe them. I get them the hell out of here. Okay. Some people will say that's a bad idea, but I do that, and then I tag them as such. I can kind of keep an eye on who am I automatically unsubscribing. Now, some people might say, why would you do that? I'm doing it to maximize my deliverability, and I don't really want a list or community of people who aren't involved. There's just no value. There's no value in my opinion there. So then the third level of this is that new tag we just made together called checked out, right? And I would take off that unsubscribe from there. I would add it into this, and this is 8 months out, right? And you could start the stuff sooner. You could do 2 months, 4 months, 6 months. I'm doing 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, just to experiment and see what happens. So in this case, I'm going to build a custom automation, be very simple, and it'll look something like this. So this is great info for your business if you work with clients with email marketing. It's a great approach for clients as well. It's just going to help recover more of the contacts you have. Okay, so again, this would be triggered by a tag. The tag is going to be, in this example, I think it was checked out. And if that's not how it was spelled exactly before, for this purpose, it doesn't matter. But obviously, you'd want the tag to be the same. Okay, and then you're going to go right into your email sequence. So again, you want to label your automation properly so you know what it is. You're going to make it active before it's active, obviously. And then I don't use this menu, I'm weird. And then you're going to start adding emails. So maybe on something like this, I'm going to go hard. I'm going to go, maybe I go 2 emails a day for 3 days in a row, because at this point, the chances of getting somebody to open are so small, it's going to be single digits. But if I can recover a couple a year, it's people that could re-engage with the brand and become buyers or repeat buyers. So that's kind of how that works. Hopefully that makes sense. But that is how you set up a simple 3-tier re-engagement sequence in ActiveCampaign. Again, the way it comes, if you look back at this part 1 where it all began, it's set up by default to have 2 levels. You could trigger it at the disengage tag here. You could trigger another one here. And I'm suggesting, hey, why not make it a 3rd round? I had it spaced out, checked out. So just because my OCD will haunt me if I don't do this, I'll go back to that automation I just made and create the right trigger, even though I'm not going to use it. Okay. Actually, probably will make this in my account, but not today and not right now. Yep. So this, to make it accurate, would be, so you're going to let me click, or are we frozen? Not sure what's going on here. Okay. It's not letting me click anything. Huh. Okay, let's try this. Delete that. And we will just add a new tag and spell it correctly this time. Okay, I don't like that menu. Don't ask me why. Okay, tag was added. So it should have said checked out, and it should run multiple times. Okay. Hope that's helpful. Hope that gives you some ideas. Like I said, if you're not using ActiveCampaign, perhaps what you use does have this kind of functionality. Okay, at least conceptually, this should be beneficial and helpful for you. Okay, I will pop out of here now. Come back to video. There I am on video. Was that helpful? Does that help give you some ideas on how you can re-engage your folks and maybe help your clients with the same thing? Hope so. Again, my name is Jason Wright. Channel is Intentionally Inspirational. And if you're not subscribed, I'd love for you to subscribe. If you've got feedback, let me know in the comments. Love to talk to you. Thanks for watching. See you soon.